From Siddhartha, the son. Timid and weeping, the boy had attended his mother's funeral. Gloomy and shy, he had listened to Siddhartha, who greeted him as his son and welcomed him at his place in Vasudeva's hut. Pale, he sat for many days by the hill of the dead, did not want to eat, gave no open look, did not open his heart, met his fate with resistance and denial. Siddhartha spared him and let him do as he pleased. He honored his mourning. Siddhartha understood that this son did not know him, that he could not love him like a father. Slowly, he also saw and understood that the 11-year-old was a pampered boy, a mother's boy, and that he had grown up in the habits of rich people, accustomed to finer food, to a soft bed, accustomed to giving orders to servants. Siddhartha understood that the mourning, pampered child could not suddenly and willingly be content with a life among strangers and in poverty. He did not force him. He did many a chore for him, always picked the best piece of the meal for him. Slowly, he hoped to win him over by friendly patience. Rich and happy, he had called himself when the boy had come to him. Since time had passed on in the meantime, and the boy remained a stranger and in a gloomy disposition, since he displayed a proud and stubbornly disobedient heart, did not want to do any work, did not pay his respect to the old man, stole from peace from Vasudeva's fruit trees, then Siddhartha began to understand that his son had not brought him happiness and peace, but suffering and worry. But he loved him, and he preferred the suffering worries of love over happiness and joy without the boy. Since young Siddhartha was in the hut, the old man had split the work. Vasudeva had again taken on the job of the ferryman all by himself, and Siddhartha, in order to be with his son, did the work in the hut and the field. For a long time, for long months, Siddhartha waited for his son to understand him, to accept his love, to perhaps reciprocate it. For long months, Vasudeva waited, watching, waited, and said nothing. One day, when Siddhartha the younger had once again tormented his father very much with spite and an unsteadiness in his wishes, and had broken both of his rice balls, Vasudeva took in the evening his friends aside and talked to him. "Pardon me," he said. "From a friendly heart I'm talking to you. I'm seeing that you are tormenting yourself. I'm seeing that you are in grief. Your son, my dear, is worrying you, and he's also worrying me. That young bird is accustomed to a different life, to a different nest. He has not, like you, ran away from riches and the city, being disgusted and fed up with it. Against his will, he had to leave all this behind. I asked the river, oh friend, many times I've asked it, but the river laughs. It laughs at me, it laughs at you and me, and is shaking with laughter at our foolishness. Water wants to join water. Youth wants to join youth. Your son is not in the place where he can prosper. You too should ask the river. You too should listen to it." Troubled, Siddhartha looked into his friendly face, in the many wrinkles of which there was incessant cheerfulness. "How could I part with him?" he said quietly, ashamed. "Give me some more time, my dear. See, I'm fighting for him. I'm seeking to win his heart with love and with friendly patience. I intend to capture it. One day, the river shall also talk to him, and he also is called upon." Vasudeva's smile flourished more warmly. "Oh yes, he too is called upon. He too is of the eternal life. But do we, you and me, know what he is called upon to do? What path to take, what actions to perform, what pain to endure? Not a small one. His pain will be, After all, his heart is proud and hard. People like this have to suffer a lot, err a lot, do much injustice, burden themselves with much sin. Tell me, my dear, you're not taking control of your son's upbringing? You don't force him? You don't beat him? You don't punish him? No, Vasudeva, I don't do anything of this. I knew it. You don't force him, don't beat him, don't give him orders, because you know that soft is stronger than hard. Water stronger than rocks. Love stronger than force. Very good, I praise you, but aren't you mistaken in thinking that you wouldn't force him, wouldn't punish him? Don't you shackle him with your love? Don't you make him feel inferior every day? And don't you make it even harder on him with your kindness and patience? Don't you force him, the arrogant and pampered boy, to live in a hut with 2 old banana eaters, to whom even rice is a delicacy, whose thoughts can be his, whose hearts are old and quiet and beats in a different pace than his? Isn't he punished by all this? Troubled, Siddhartha looked to the ground. Quietly he asked, "What do you think should I do?"